As I told you guys last night, I had to follow up the Rio video with a follow video, and that's due to the fact that there is an interesting amount of discourse going on about what transpired between him and Rudo in the latest chapter of Gachiakuta. It wasn't as crazy as what y'all have been alluding it to be, but let me go ahead and give you guys a breakdown as to what this implies for the future. As y'all know, man, I'm DomoSenpai, and in this video, I'll be explaining just how Follo is bound to have one of the coolest Jinky reveals in all of Gachiakuta. If y'all are new to the channel and have yet to subscribe, make sure y'all go down below and hit that big ass red subscribe button underneath the video. We are on course for reaching 10K, so let's continue to cook up with these 28 days of DomoSenpai by providing better content at an even higher clip. And with all of that being said, bro, let's jump into this video because it's not really a lot to discuss, but it's still something. In chapter 117, Follo tried to give Rudo a new uniform as a way to apologize for messing up his other one, and Rudo flat out denied it. As I mentioned in the chapter review, we know how Rudo values his things and how much he cherishes them. So him wanting to repair it is not out of the ordinary. But what is out of the ordinary was the reaction that it elicited from Follo. While it may seem like an unusual response to some, we as the audience knows it's way deeper than just the uniform and Rudo telling him, no thank you. Before I go off on the deep end about Follo, I would like to remind you guys that Rudo is a kid who doesn't know how to smile or express his emotions properly. And that's an aside from the PTSD that he has from the Spherites. Y'all remember what happened every time Rudo tried to smile? So imagine Rudo was trying to be polite and tell him no, but he was really unable to make a face that matches the sentiment? Come on, man, have we truly forgotten how Rudo can be? That aside, we now need to get into Follo and his repressed guilt because I can see how this can be misconstrued. We have to keep in mind that this is all from the perspective of Follo, so of course things are gonna seem skewed. This isn't just a Rudo and Follo problem, by the way. We've known the supporters have been treated like garbage since we were introduced to them. So as we go through Follo's memories, we see that this is still something he's holding on to. Not to mention the kid holding the hammer. That's a whole different story. Let's turn the clocks all the way back to chapter 9 where Rudo saved his life and used his abilities for the first time, in front of Follo. It was there that Follo first got a glimpse of not only what Rudo can do, but also being in his debt for being saved. Then, in chapter 11, Gris goes on to explain about how people feel about the supporters and that Rudo was different because he treated them as equals. He lets us know that Follo joined the cleaners in order to get rid of all the trash beasts and that at some point he had hopes of becoming a giver. The key takeaway from here is that while Follo wants to become a giver, he's still going to be a supporter. I bring this up because it was here that Follo's dreams were made known to us as the reader. We then fast forward all the way to the Tori No Man's Land fight, and just as he was about to let Rudo use his hammer, he stopped because he was reminded of Gris's amulet and what happened to it. So in turn, he did not want that to happen to his hammer. If you add up the things that we learned from this most recent chapter with the fact that he's still feeling a lot of guilt about the Tori No Man's Land incident, I think you guys will come to understand that he's not mad at Rudo. This isn't a thing with him and Rudo. He's mad at himself. And what makes this even more interesting is that the person who understands him the most is right in front of him. That's why that look of dejection from Rudo is not about Follo getting pissed off. It's most likely that he can see himself in Follo. Now, what does this lead to? I'm so glad you asked, YouTube chat. Let me propose to you an idea. I'm gonna put this panel up here and I want you guys to make sure y'all etch this in your memories because this is gonna come back around. Follo is gonna end up saving Rudo in this exact same fashion. And you know what's gonna happen? He's going to loan Rudo his hammer. Now, you may be wondering, why do you think it's gonna happen this way? I told you guys in my previous video, but I think Follo is going to have one of the sickest Jinky reveals to date. My homie Party Jams is in the same mindset as me with this. He throws this out as an alternative theory, but I would argue that this is probably what's gonna happen. Remember how we talked about Gris saying that Follo told him, even when I'm a giver, I will still be a supporter? Party Jam said, and I'm, paraphrasing here, he feels the source of Follo's ability will be about trusting things to people, which would match him as a supporter. I think that's interesting because I think he's going to be the one to usher in a new era of supporters, especially for Rudo, who was able to use others' objects and turn them into one of his own. I think this is going to be one of the most important team-ups of the series in regards to character progression and dynamics due to that reason alone. I would also like to make one more point before I get out of here. No, this is not going to lead Follo down a path of destruction. He's not going to be led to the Raiders and become one of them because there's nothing there that warrants that type of drastic decision. I think you guys are too caught up on shit that is the exact opposite of the story that Urana is trying to tell. And I'm pretty sure those of you who have came up with this weird delusion also forgot what Urana said the story was about in the first place. If anything, we need to be more aware of what Tomsy would do if he overheard this conversation. Want to talk about taking something important away from Rudo or just taking something important away from anybody? We need to look there because while it may seem like an idiotic statement now, just wait. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have for this video. If there was any bit of lore that I forgot to add, make sure y'all let me know down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. This video was a lot longer than I anticipated it being, but it was still fun to get done. Moral of the story, just because there's miscommunication between characters doesn't mean that this starts an entire villain arc. I don't know what the fuck y'all been reading, but man, y'all need to get it together, bro. I'm gonna get out of here, edit this video. Y'all have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever y'all are. I'm DomoSenpai, and I will catch you guys in the next video.